This all sounds very nice, but baked beans. You can taste the beans. Hey everyone, it's Barry here. Hope you are well. Today we are reviewing this. This, folks, is the Heinz Baked Bean Cookbook. It is a cookbook for baked beans by Heinz, that specific brand. They've done a recipe book dedicated to it, and I bloomin' love it. Now this book, I love that. Look, that's brilliant. That's just an amazing wallpaper for a wall, right? Wallpaper for a wall. Wouldn't be called wallpaper if it wasn't. Now this book is semi-story, but semi-recipes as well. It's a lot about the history. It's a compact, more sort of like pamphlet recipe book, if you will. It's not really like loaded with loads of recipes like the Ninja Turtle one was. Remember, this is part of the Cookbook Corner playlist where we've done some really cool books so far. So it's not loaded with recipes, but it goes into the history of Heinz, right? So if you don't know, there's a guy called Henry J. Heinz. I actually know a little bit about this, and he founded Heinz, hence his surname, and he started with pickles and ketchup, things like that. So there he is right there, and he basically, well, he started in Pennsylvania, I believe, and slowly conquered America. Goes straight from that history, boom, into a recipe. This is some baked bean, mushroom, and brie-filled pancakes, which sounds quite cool. Then there's a soup recipe, there's another recipe, and then it goes back into the history. I'm not gonna go crazy into it, it's actually quite a cheap cookbook. But why I like it versus something like the Coca-Cola cookbook, which was all right, there's some really quirky recipes in here, and that's for me what I like about it. It's not just beans on toast. They got some fajitas, they've got nachos, nice simple stuff. They've got a risotto, I thought, yeah, that looks cool. And even baked bean sushi. But see what I mean? There's a little bit of thought there, there's some creativity rather than just, oh, we're just gonna put this in this. And that's what I think, for me, a good cookbook is, some creativity and fun ideas, which is why I have decided to go for this. That is baked bean ravioli. We're getting the pasta machine out, folks. Yes. As Boston stays in his bed, he is very comfortable. I wanted to get him a smaller bed, but it fits inside his big bed, and he's a little cold, so I've got him this thing that like's got a hood on it, and he bloomin' loves it. Don't you? Hey? The ultimate test will be when I start cooking though, which starts now. All being well, by the end of this video, you see that there? It looks like a pile of nachos, doesn't it? That would be easy to make. We should have something that looks a little bit like that. All right, in this bowl is 3 eggs, 3 large eggs. I'm just gonna shimmy in a little bit of salt. Nice. Pasta needs some pasta flour. This is some 00 or 00. I don't know if do they call it 00? Is it like secret agent flour? It's just basically super fine. So we've got our salted eggs. So we're gonna let the egg absorb into the flour and make a dough. Now that might not look like a lot of dough, but trust me, by the time we get it through that pasta machine, it's gonna be quite a lot, and probably way more than I need for today's video, which is great because I might be able to reuse it and make some other pasta for tea. But like the book says, we need to let it rest for a little bit, so we'll wrap master. All right, cool. You've probably been wondering when the beans get involved, and that is, of course, for the filling. So we have got some Parmesan, we've got some goat's cheese, we have got some soft cheese, because the supermarket last night, I wanted to get ricotta. They didn't have any. I'm like, you always have. No, we don't. Right, okay. So soft cheese, aka sometimes cream cheese, is a good alternative, and the baked beans. So we don't need the whole tin. It is not telling me to drain them off. So we will get a little bit of the sauce in there, and we need about half a tin, so about 200 grams. Let's bring it together. All right, the goat's cheese should hopefully just pop out like a little bus. There we are. 2.5 tablespoons of Parmesan. The soft cheese, boom. Oh my gosh. I must admit, most UK folks will know this because baked beans is a very British thing. The smell of cold baked beans is right up there, folks. It's really not very enticing right now. Pepper is starting to come together to some sort of crazy, like a light orange filling colour. All right. The colour is very bland and beige, actually. The orange is completely gone. Ugh. I just stirred then, I just got some on my eyeball. Oh my gosh. And I must have got some down here as well, because Boston, yeah, I did. Look, Boston's literally having a lick. Oh, that is really strange. And actually quite sweet. Wow. It's okay, it'll be encased in the pasta, which we're gonna roll out now. So this is my pasta machine. I mean, it's seen better days. My handle's all good though, that just goes in there, and I can go this way, or that way. And there are some attachments you can get on there to make all different types of spaghetti that cut it for you and do the shapes as you roll it. But we just want it to basically be like a tongue. Ooh, actually, I've just thought, I think I've got a ravioli gadget in my gadget boxes of wonder. Ooh, I'll have a look for that in a minute. Just gonna put some flour through the rollers. Now, a pasta machine, if you don't know, it's kind of like a corset, all right? You kind of like, you start with the, I don't wear a corset, actually I have, that was a very bad stag do. Another story. You start with a really wide setting and then you slowly tighten it up like that to make the pasta thinner. Did that make sense? Like cooking in general, right? Some people are experts at things, some people are really fast at chopping a carrot. Just take your time with it and enjoy it. Like the nonnas in Italy that make homemade pastas on a little table with a rolling pin by the side of the street. They ain't using that generally, they're just using old school skills, baby. I'm not doing that. This looks, I mean, yeah, it's sturdy. It just looks quite sloppy. I just wonder whether the book should have said that the beans should have been drained. So I've got 3 pieces here that I'll put to one side. I just want you to look at how thick that is right now, okay? And this might be wrong, but what I tend to do, the end I'm gonna put in, I pinch it a little bit to help it. I don't want it sticking, okay? That's the worst bit. So we've got a nice thinner bit there. See how thin that is? So we'll stick it in there. Look at that coming through. As I work down the settings, I don't know if you have to do this. This is just something I've always done. I do flour it. Oh my gosh, my handle's fallen off. But you can see a couple of rolls through each setting. Like even that is way smoother. The only problem is that is still way too thick for ravioli. I mean, you could make it like that. It would just cook a little bit longer and be very, very, it might be gummy actually. No, don't do that. And when it first goes through like that, like feed it, like grab it like that to help offer it and pull it through. Otherwise it can pile up and stick to itself quite quickly. But look at that, that is the 9 setting and you can already see already that's a little thinner and a teeny bit longer. So hopefully you get the gist. Nice. My handle keeps falling off. Anyhow, I'll see you in a bit once I get down to 1. We're down to the lowest setting, but look, look how big that piece of pasta is. It is so thin as well. It's not bad when you think you've gone from that to that. That's just like a belt. Yeah, the only problem is it sort of scagged a little bit where it wound down and it was hitting like this little point of my handle where, yeah, obviously I've just kind of bodged it, but it's fine. Do you know what? I'm probably only going to do 1 more piece to end up with another strip like that, and I think I'll be fine with that. In other news, I'm replicating Home Alone on my camera lens. There is flour all over it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I've got the 2 strips that I've cut down to the width of the board, and what I think I might try is just dollop a couple of bits here first of all. Yeah, see, it's expanding quite a bit. I don't even know if doing one on the end here is sensible, but we'll go for it. This is some water, just so that the pasta sheet above will stick to it. And I'm just gonna place this pasta sheet over the top of it so we can see the little indentations with the filling, okay? But as I'm pressing it, I'm sealing these little bumps. So I'll just show you with one. We've got this little pocket here where that is all joined together, that pasta, so we can sort of tidy it up. Get as close to that as you like, but although it's already sealed, I can make it to a kiss from a road. We can make it look a little prettier, but also adding a little bit more security to that seal, baby, by joining it even more so, okay? And it sort of feels a bit weird because it's like we're going to all this effort, and in the middle is baked beans. But have a look at that. It's not something you see every day. Baked bean ravioli. Yeah, what's not to love? I was just saying to Patreon, this is very, very therapeutic. But I can imagine doing this. It's like anything, you think, oh, I'd love to do that. That'd be an amazing, cool job to just make pasta for a living. It might get very, very repetitive. I really enjoyed doing that. I just don't know what it's going to taste like. I'm going to make a lemon sage butter sauce for that ravioli. So that could completely override the baked beanness in this recipe entirely. And there was actually a really cool hack video, which I can do in one big group of a minute. I'll roll them up off camera, but you just take the stalk off and you just roll the sage leaf up into like a little cylinder and then cut it really fine like that to get these really diddy, funky little strips. And also the zest of a lemon, okay? So I'm just gonna get that all on a board, the sage leaves and the lemon together, whilst hoping I don't grate my finger. All right, so that's nice and done. And we do also need the juice of the lemon too. So we use the whole thing in a bit, but we don't really want that ready until the pasta is ready. Now, going back to some of the very first videos I did when I very first discovered to learn how to even just cook very basic stuff. I remember when I first discovered fresh pasta. And bizarrely, my favorite pasta is now a brand called Rumo. It's amazing, and that's a dried pasta. But I remember going to the supermarket and discovering fresh pasta and being like, oh wow, this cooks in like 90 seconds to like 2 minutes-ish. Which is exactly what happens to this. Well, that is if you rolled it thin enough. All right, the water is bubbling away, so we'll just reduce that down. We won't get it going just yet, but I always wanted to do this. I remember when I first got sent these pans, there's actually, this was from a brand deal, right? I talked about this recently. Like, I don't have to use them in videos again. I genuinely love them. I'd never seen anything like it. And someone else was like, yeah, but that's been around for years, like the camping pans. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyhow, butter's in there. Leave the lemon to one side. But we will push in those sage and the lemon zest. And why not? Just a little bit more pepper as well. Let's just go for it. A little bit like a video we did recently. We're going to melt that butter until it's foamy. But it's time to add that pasta in and hope that baked beans don't explode out of it. All right, so the pasta's cooking away. This is reducing down. I love how it's got like a little hat. The lemon juice goes in next. All right, I would say that is foaming. So we take it off the heat. Lemon juice goes in. We've cooked the sage and the lemon zest in that butter and now added extra acidity with the juice. This gets drizzled over the ravioli, which we'll get right now. This all sounds very nice, but baked beans. Straight out of the pan. And whenever you go to a nice restaurant and you order ravioli, you always get quite disappointed. You're like, oh, I thought I'd get more than that. But it is deceptively filling. So we now drizzle the butter and sage and lemon sauce on top. Oh my goodness. That is really gonna flavor it. I don't want to put too much on there. A good shimmy of parmesan on there, a complimentary sage leaf, and then some pepper. Okay, I tell you what, that is pretty darn gourmet, to be honest. Oh, you cheeky thing. And all from a tin of beans. I've got to be honest, that looks pretty darn similar. The only thing I'd say is that has been food styled. There's a bit more sage on it, looks a little bit nicer, but you know what I'm like, just like you hopefully, just shove it on and you want to eat it. Don't forget to keep the Cookbook Corner book ideas coming in. Thank you to everyone that sent me one. If you do want to get in touch, I'm still trying to get back to all of you. Get in touch via the contact form on my website. Ooh, okay. Oh, it's quite dainty. I can smell baked beans though. It's just sat in there like that, okay? Mmm. Oh my gosh. You can taste the beans, but I think it's the warmed cheese that's blended it all in. And then you've got that butter and lemon kick overriding it all. Mmm. The pasta is delicate anyway, but it wasn't really about that. The homemade pasta is really good. I really like that. But that filling just kind of works. And the lemon isn't too overriding. You get a little hint of sage. But that real strength is in the sauce of the beans. You get that running through it with the cream cheese filling. Now, I think it all depends, and it's quite a sensitive topic, on the tin of beans that you buy. Even in the UK, there are other brands. Branston, for example, is one, or supermarket own brand. A lot of people have their own choices, and I think that actually plays a critical role in whether you would like this. So ultimately, if it's beans that you buy anyway, you're gonna like it, and if you mix it with that cream cheese warm filling, it's bloomin' stonking. In conclusion, I knew it was a fun book, and I wanted to do something a bit quirky, and I thought that might have been bad. This baked bean sushi though, is that cold? Yeah, it is actually served cold, but bizarrely, I think that would be okay because you typically have sushi cold. So, I mean, if you want to get the book and find out for yourself, but I'm really, really impressed with that. Don't forget to check out the rest of the videos here on the Cookbook Corner playlist. Like I say, the Ninja Turtle one is a particular highlight. Ninja Turtles, Peter Cookbook, I said it was pretty good. I said video of Baby Louie. Come over to my house and enjoy it. Bye. And of course, if you're subscribed or not subscribed already, please consider doing so and make sure all your notifications are turned on so you're told about all new videos. And I'll see you later. Cheers. If I eat this now, if I eat it all, it is a lot to eat, I will fall asleep.